What's up, everybody? Study doesn't start to back with another edition. Maybe an edition. I just want to come here and hop on a live real quick and just talk about something that I was just having a conversation with a couple of my coaches, and it kind of really came present to me. And so I wanted to jump on here live and just share these things with you. If you're an entrepreneur and you're doing 20, 30,000, maybe $50,000 a month, there's a danger that you have not being able to go to the next level. And if you're struggling trying to get to that next level, I want to share with you three steps that you can make in your business to be able to attack that seven-figure level and beyond. So we're talking about going from 20, 30, $50,000 a month to $100,000 or more, maybe $1 million a month. And the shift is we get to start here. Right? There's different levels to get to, and I want to be able to it's out there for you. Right? If you're watching this live, drop a one in the comments. If you're watching this in replay, drop a replay, hashtag replay. Know where my people are at. And I'm going to jump right into it without further delay. I'm not going to take a lot of time. Right? So the conversation was sparked by this whole idea. This was one $3,000 a month over an entrepreneur's daily down. This is something that I believe I was starting to say. I'm not sure about the quote, but the reason why it's so important is because for most people, whenever you talk to an entrepreneur and you're starting a business, like the first thing they say, if you ask them what's your goal, if I could just make $10,000 a month, that would be good. If I could make $10,000 a month, I would do that. And very often that is the case because $10,000 a month or $100,000 a year is like this benchmark for people believe that that's going to be able to ultimately happen. Right? They could outpace the bills and have a little bit extra to be able to do what they want to do. And if they're able to double that and go to $20,000, now they feel like they're close to that's around $250,000 a year. And that sounds good. Sounds really, really cool. Here's the challenge. It's not really enough to be able to do more than you really want to do. The freedom that most people think they want or hope to have, they don't really have that freedom because they're not really free. $3,000 enough a month is enough to be able to go shopping if you want to go traveling, do different things, be able to take a month or two off if you want to. You got that consistent revenue. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel comfortable. The problem with being comfortable is that comfort is exactly what keeps you where you are. Comfort is what kept people in their jobs for too long so they never started to comfort was what keeps you in the state where you're not able to continue to grow. And the thing about being able to grow is that you do not grow in a state of comfort. Right? In actuality, for most people, they never get comfort, but they get comfortable being in that discomfort because they believe that's where it is. And so if you want to be able to scale your business, you have to be a different type of person. Right? And so I'm just talking to the people who are these type of people. You are high achievers, you are high performers, you are not satisfied with status quo. You are not cool with being exactly where you are so long. You're not cool with just staying out there. You're not cool with it. And so you can never settle for a mediocre life. And most people will. The fact of the matter is that around 9% of people ever create, 9% of the people who ever start a business ever create six figures. 9%. That's literally around 1 in 10. And only 6% of those people who start a business actually create $1 million. And then from that, the people who actually create $10 million business or better is 1%. So many people compare themselves to Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and people who are billionaires, Warren Buffett, etc. The fact of the matter is those people are the 1% of the 1%. And there's a mindset people go around sharing their memes and sharing their clips on the internet. There are shifts that are happening before all that wisdom that are actually unlocking the capacity to create that wealth and create that freedom. You're not really free because at any point, if somebody turns off the tap, how do you have a muffled to sound? I'm not sure. All right. Give me a thumbs up or one in the comments if you can hear me better now. If you can be over here, the audio is muffled. That's frustrating because I have a lot to say really won't be able to get that, especially out of the gate like this. That makes sense. So,
All right. So here's the thing. Give me one now. We should be able to switch. It actually was on the wrong mic. So don't know why that happened. Still muffled and unclear. The mic is off. I'm going to turn that off. All right. Is that better? Everybody, can you hear me better now? Good now. All right, cool. Thank you for that and letting me know. So I'm going to rewind this whole thing and we're going to get into it. All right. So there's a shift that people have to make in order to be able to be successful in their business. And when I talk about success, I'm not talking about comfort. One of the challenges, again, going back to the quote, Alex Sharfin, I believe, is the one that said this. $20,000 a month is where most entrepreneurs go to die. And that is because you're making just enough money to be comfortable, just enough to outpace, just enough to be more successful than most of the people that you know, right? So if you're making $20,000 a month, that's roughly $240,000 a year. That puts you in the top 2 or 3% of earners, 4 or 5% of earners in the country, United States, and really in the world. Because if you're making $37,000, I believe you're making more than 90% of the people in the world. Most people do not make that much money. By $20,000 a month, you're pretty comfortable. You can travel, you can spend a little, you can do a little shopping, you can drive the car that you want to drive for the most part. But you are still going to be struggling. You're still going to be stuck. Because, and when I say stuck, that means that you're in a comfort zone that doesn't really motivate you or incentivize you to get out of it. And if you are someone who wants to be at another level, then you're going to feel like you're winning at a level that you're really not, right? It feels like you're doing better than you are. And yet, if you get sick, if there's a major catastrophe, if for some reason the industry shifts or whatever the case may be and your business goes down, you don't have the resources at your disposal to be able to live a better and more powerful life. You don't have the real freedom that we're talking about to be able to achieve the levels that you want to be able to achieve. It's that simple. So what does it take? Many people are comparing themselves to Warren Buffett and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, and you're talking about these people. The fact of the matter is that only 9% of entrepreneurs ever create a six-figure business, right? So if you're making $20,000 a month, you feel like you're in rare air. You are. You're in the that 10% of people that ever hit that level. But then only 6% of people who start a business ever hit the seven-figure level. And only 1% of people ever hit the set 10 the 8-figure mark, $10 million a year, a month or more. So if we're talking about Warren Buffett or Elon Musk, we're talking about the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. That is rare air. And many people are taking their advice. They're reposting these memes. They are following these clips and reels on social media. And they're saying, okay, I can take this advice and that's what I'm going to use. But there are 3 shifts that you have to make before you can even get there. And most people never do because they're too comfortable to actually go beyond that, right? And so they bet on themselves. What they haven't done is understood that they need to be able to make these shifts to be able to understand what's possible to unlock that 7 figures. We're talking about going to $100,000 a month or more. And this is not pie in the sky stuff, but it feels out of reach because if you are the type of person that really wants to go there, but you can't seem to unlock that ceiling, you can't seem to crack that ceiling, then what's happening is you're stuck in your thinking, you're stuck in your perspective about business and about what it takes. All right. And why are you stuck? You're stuck because this is how we are presented with the world in its reality. And we have to break away from that. I'm not going to go as deep as I possibly can, but I wanted to share this because I feel like it's really valuable for those of you who are stuck and are challenged with breaking that barrier of $20,000, $30,000, or even $50,000 a month. I know entrepreneurs who have been at this state for a long time and they can't get out of their own way because they don't have the capacity to unlock or tap into these shifts in thinking. So what are they? How do we get unstuck? You want the question? Here, we're going to talk about that. Well, let me talk about first about what the shifts are, and then I'll talk about how you can get unstuck. All right. So the first thing that you have to understand is this: working harder will not make you wealthier, right? You cannot work harder. For instance, many people who got to the $20,000 a month, they've gotten there because they put in the 10, 12, 14-hour days, grinding away at their business. Maybe they had a job and they were working on the side and they were able to make enough finally to quit their job. And now things are going well. And maybe they scaled back a bit. But one of the challenges that happens, it actually presents itself on two sides. One is that you believe that in order to make more money, for instance, if I had to work 18 hours a day to get to six figures to make $20,000 a month, therefore, I would naturally have to think that I would have to work 36 hours a day to make $200,000 a month, right? I'm sorry, to make $40,000 a month. So if I want to make more, I have to work harder. Come here, sweetheart. All right. But that's actually not the case. You actually can't, because time and resources are limited. You don't have the capacity to be able to do that. And so it's actually a law of diminishing returns. When you work harder, the longer and harder that you work, the more your body breaks down, the less clear you are in your thinking, right? And so because of that, you're stuck in this cycle of kind of a boom bust sort of a cycle where you're working really hard to get these results, but then you break down and then things stop working. So you have to be able to create a capacity to be able to do things differently, right? And so doing things differently requires thinking differently and understanding that in order for you to be able to unlock that level of success that you want to be able to have, you've got to be able to make that shift. Working harder won't get you there. What got you here won't get you there. You have to be able to understand that also doing more doesn't equal getting more, right? We're hyper focused on productivity in this country. But productivity is a byproduct of corporations that use these metrics. And certainly when I'm working with organizations and corporations, like they want to know how can they be more efficient? How can they be more productive? But that's because when you're working at scale, when you're making seven figures a month, when you're making $10 million a month or $100 million a month, then the little details, shaving $100,000 here or there adds up over time. It adds up and scales up. And so that matters. But if you are making $20,000 a month, doing more will not get you more. There's actually a very narrow slice of things that you need to focus on. One or two things that are really going to move the needle in a significant way for you. You've got to be able to make that shift and understand, right? So working harder doesn't make you wealthy. And doing more doesn't make you more productive, doesn't produce greater outcomes. Related to that is the idea that what you have to stop doing is stop just getting clients or getting customers. It's not just about making money. It's about building a business. A business is a vehicle for value, right? And so as a vehicle for value, you have to be able to build a vehicle that's going to take you further. And the type of vehicle that you build depends on where you want to go. And I'm talking specifically to those people who want to go to the moon. Those people who are not satisfied with mediocre success, who aren't just looking around and saying, I want to be better than my friend group. I want to be better than the people that I know that are around me. They're saying, I want to lean into my ultimate potential. I want to change the world if I can, but I want to build as much wealth as I can because I want to be able to help as many people and serve as many people as I can. All right. Now somebody's saying you're waiting for the shifts. I've already given you two of them, right? So one of them is that you can't work harder to make more wealth. The second one is that you cannot do more things to be more productive. You actually need to narrow your focus. The third shift is that you have to be able to build a company, to build a vehicle to take you where you want to go. You can't do it on your own, right? Now, I know that increasingly people believe that I can use AI and I can use all these tools and I can drop ship or I can do whatever the ads are coming across on your YouTube ads before you're watching videos that are telling you that you can do it all by yourself. Yes, it's about building teams, right? But you have to be able to build a vehicle, and the vehicle is not just a team, because the team has to be able to have leverage and tools and systems and a guide a map, a roadmap for them to be able to follow, to be able to execute on. And who's the one that sets that roadmap? You are the leader. But you can't do that if you're focused on doing all the things and putting out all the fires and you are turning all the wrenches and you're hammering all the nails. You have a limited capacity, and that's not the best use and resource of your time. So if you're stuck and you're getting there, right? We talk about this in our scalosity model. You have to be able to use and implement these different things to be able to access the next level of success for yourself. And it doesn't change. The levels of skill set that you get to step into as the owner, as the entrepreneur, continue to elevate over time. Now, here's the challenge, and I'm going to tell you this, right? One of the biggest problems for many entrepreneurs is that the reason why they started their business is because they wanted to be free. They felt like, I don't want my boss telling me what to do. I want to work for myself, right? You don't want to work for your boss anymore because you realize I can make more money doing the same thing for myself, right? There is a control freak issue that entrepreneurs have. We don't want anyone else to control us. And yet what happens is by the time that you're making $20,000 or $30,000 a month, you come to realize that you're kind of still not in control because your clients are in control. Because if you don't serve your clients, if you don't serve your customers, if you don't continue to fulfill on the orders or do the things that you've been doing, that all goes away. And so the shift that you have to make is understanding that what is required of you is to build a vehicle that can deliver that without you. I just did a master class 2 nights ago, how to build a business that scales without you. And we talked about some of these things, right? But understanding, let me go back to the vehicle analogy. The vehicle is supposed to carry you to a destination. If I want to go across the street, I can use my feet. If I want to go down the street, I can use a bicycle. If I want to go across town, I can use a car. If I want to go across the state, I can take a bus. If I want to go across the country, I can take a plane. If I want to go to outer space, I take a rocket. And so the level that you achieve, the destination that you achieve, all depends on the vehicle that you have. And most people are using a bicycle and they're satisfied with riding around the neighborhood. Because, hey, look what I've done. I'm moving, I'm efficiently, it's cool. I like where I live. But there are some people that are not satisfied with that. That's not just what they want. They want more than that in their lives. They want to be able to build something that's more significant and have more freedom. They don't want to be having trivial conversations about money. They don't ever want to have to worry about money again. They want to be able to have the freedom to take their wife or their husband wherever they want to go, to be able to take their family and travel 3-4 months out of the year. They want to be able to make the contributions to the causes that they care about in a significant way. They don't just want to be donating a few coats or clothes for the homeless in the winter. They want to be able to build homeless shelters. They want to be able to create organizations that literally shift the trajectory of people's lives. Somebody said, I want to take a rocket. That's what I'm talking about. Now, listen, if you're one of those people, then you get to ask yourself, where are you right now? Right? Are you on foot, walking across the street? Are you on a bicycle, pedaling around the neighborhood? Are you in a car, but you are on a loop and you cannot seem to get unstuck? If that is the case, then I'm going to encourage you. Amy said she's been using a scooter, or that's what it feels like. For many people, it does, because if you've ever experienced speed at any level, right, you know that you're moving too slowly. And that's tough. It's painful. What's going on, Tim? Good to see you, man. I can't see everybody's name in the chat, but Sarah, I believe you joined for a second. If you're still here, happy Friday to you. Here's the thing. Now I want to leave you with this, right? I'm not going to hold you. But if you know that you have a greater destination, you have to build a greater vehicle. And you cannot do it alone. One of the things that happens for most people is that they never realize that there is support for what they can do, right? So if you need support, you recognize that you're not happy where you are, then you need to get with people that can. I'll give you a perfect example. So what's going on? Billionaire Fred, I like the sound of that. I was asked by some friends to join this this group of guys who are doing push-ups for the month. So they had a goal of doing a push-up challenge, which is $2,500 for the 2,500 push-ups for the month of August, right? And so before I joined this challenge, I was doing around 50 push-ups a day. It was just a way of kind of waking up and staying in decent shape. I had never done more than 100 push-ups in a day. What happened was, over time, as I'm seeing the other guys post their videos and they're talking about their totals, I started to push myself. I said, well, I've done 50, I can do 75. Well, let me see. And the thing is, the average, in order to do 2,500 push-ups for 31 days in August, that turns into around 83, 85 push-ups a day. Since the third or fourth day, I've now been doing better than 100 push-ups. And I've gotten up to 200 push-ups a day. Whereas before, I'd only done 100 push-ups once in my life. What was the difference? What was the shift? One of the things was the consistency and being motivated by seeing other people that were doing it at a higher level. You know, Donovan's doing 100. He's doing 150 push-ups. Well, cool. I can do 100. And then the challenge is there's a competitive nature that arises within me that says, I want to do this at a higher level. So now I'm pushing myself. And then I start to see the total creep up and go up. And so by the 22nd day of August, I had done 2,700 push-ups, right? Now I'm over 3,000. And I started saying, well, what would be possible if I wanted to push it and double it and go to 5,000? And so that means I need to do 300 push-ups a day. What does that look like? Breaking that down, pushing myself, challenging myself, and creating the opportunity for myself to break my own barriers. I have a coach, Coach Richard, that talks about the fact that you want to be able to annihilate the past. And so some of you need to let go of what you have believed was possible before and understand that there is no limit to what you can create. Somebody posted just a second ago, they want to take a rocket. They want to build a rocket. Well, I'm calling out to my rocketeers, to my astronauts, to the people who are entrepreneurs, who are visionaries, who want to create an outsized outcome for yourselves. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to drop a comment below this video, and just say rocket in the comment below. And I'll tell you about how we can help you to support that. We'll talk about what that looks like. Book a call. Let's dive deeper and figure out what the vehicle is that you have. And understand, I'm not pitching you now, right? This is all about what you want. And I'm calling out only those people who are interested in being rocketeers and being astronauts. This isn't for everyone. Some of you are just going to walk away and say, yeah, well, it's cool, and that's fine. You can stay where you are. You can stay on your bicycle and pedal around the neighborhood and enjoy the sights. But there are other people who understand that there is more that you are capable of. And you have so much more capacity in you. And the idea of being a multimillionaire, of being a billionaire, is not out of reach for you. All right. I see some rockets. I'm seeing people drop a rocket in the comments. Tim. All right. Good. We're going to tap in with you. I'm going to have my assistant reach out to you and get you more details about what that's going to look like, right? How you can get involved. And we're going to go from there. Whether or not you book a call, whether or not you drop that in the comments below, here's what I want you to understand. The only one stopping you is you. If you make these shifts in your life and your business, you can unlock your capacity to be able to go beyond, far beyond what you ever thought possible. And I'm not content with you doing that. If that's not what you want, I'm not content with that happening for me. This is my young COO right here who joins me on my calls from time to time. I'm doing this for not just for myself. I'm doing it for everyone. You say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Yes. So it's not just about us. Because the thing is that you can carry someone on your back when you're walking on the street, across the street. You can carry someone on your bike when you're pedaling around the neighborhood. You can put them in your car, but you can't take them to the moon with you if you don't have the right vehicle. You can't fly across the country if you don't have the right vehicle. Hey, Miss Clarisha, good to see you. We were introduced yesterday with by Gresleen, so I'm excited to talk to you, all right? Look, it's up to you. But if it's up to you, then why would you not choose what you deserve? The greater life, greater opportunity. Live a legendary life. Live a life worth living. Build a life worth living. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate those of you who stopped by, hopped on, you stayed for the whole time, whatever the case may be. My name is Frederick Douglass Bussey. I'm here to support you. If you're not yet in the 7-Figure Circle $1 Million Mastermind, let me drop the comment below. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can see the link on my page. Go to my profile and click that link. It's also in the description below. Click the link to join the 7-Figure Circle. We've got trainings, master classes, everything you need to support you. But bottom line, drop a rocket in the comments below. And let's get you out of here. All right. Happy Friday. Blessing to you all. As always, ever forward.